name's Jamie Lee Parker. I'm here at SullenTV. This is a painted meat cleaver for a show called Horror Business, and this is the third annual show, and I've done 2 of them so far. This is my second one. And it's really cool. It's put on by Left Hand Black, a tattoo studio in San Diego, California. I don't normally like to get reference from movies, but I just heard this show was coming up. So the picture I found was perfect for what I was looking for. And this is from the new Evil Dead movie. I'm gonna try to change it up a little bit, maybe add a little bit more blood, just so it's not as recognizable. For last year's show, I actually did another cleaver. It's a lot bigger than this one, probably by about 3 inches. I mean, it was pretty scary looking. I did like a skinned alive face that was screaming. And it was a profile view, so I wanted to switch it up a little bit too by having the eyes staring at you and just show that fear. I try to draw inspiration from lots of things. Scary movies to photography, just anything dark really. My family's always been really supportive of me. I've been drawing since I was 3 years old, so ever since I did my first drawing, they've loved everything I've done. Just looking at a lot of books of art, my mom always had just artwork lying around, and at an early age, I really just took to it. I've always just really enjoyed art. That's the only thing I've ever been good at. I tried sports a little bit, but I'm a little guy, so I'm not very good at them. I'm fairly new to painting. I've only been painting about 6 years now. The only reason I started was because a lot of people at the tattoo studio that I was going to start working at, they were doing a ton of paintings every day, and obviously I wasn't going to jump right into tattooing. So I thought it'd be a pretty good idea to start painting and at least doing some art before I would start with the whole tattooing process. Yeah, the first few paintings I ever did, at the time I really liked them, but they were just almost way too random. It almost looked to me like it was a different artist for each painting, and that's not what I'm going for, at least now. Just trying to be self-aware and really trying to think about my paintings before I do them. Not that they have any deep meaning. I just usually try to paint things that look cool. If I had to describe my painting style, I'd say mostly dark and atmospheric. I'm really trying to just fill a void that I think is there with more dark, almost heavy metal inspired artwork. I don't feel like there's that much of it out there. It's always just like a skull or a woman's face or something like that. Yeah, when I was younger, my mom put me in an art contest and I placed like third or something like that, but I was never really discouraged. I still kept with it and just never stopped. When I was a teenager, I kind of stopped for a little while, and I don't know if I got really discouraged. I was always doing a little bit of it, but definitely not every day, not as much as I should have. I kind of got a lucky break doing graphic design for a company, and I was doing that for about 5 years before I got into tattooing and painting. I did a lot of Photoshop and illustrator design work. It was actually for a toy company, which is kind of funny because most of my artwork is the opposite of that. Not for kids. Like I said, I was doing that for about 5 years, and it really made me want to branch out on my own. I was just looking for something that felt fulfilling. You know, it was fun at first, but it was still a dead-end job. And getting tattooed a lot, working with Mike DeVries, every time I got tattooed by him, I was kind of complaining about where I was working, and one day he asked me to apprentice, and I was like, hell yeah. Definitely been able to express myself a lot more tattooing versus graphic design. You're kind of always, well, still with tattooing, you're always designing what other people want, but you have a lot more leeway with tattooing. And it's a different project every day, so it's like night and day. I try to keep my graphics background a part of how I prepare for paintings, just because I was doing computer graphics for over 5 years. I feel like it helps out a lot. I can kind of get a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do before I do it. A lot of people feel like it's cheating, but I don't feel that way. If it helps me become better or happier with what I'm working on, I'm going to do it. I kind of wish I had gone to art school. Being self-taught, I feel like held me back a little bit. Just always trying to, getting such a late start. I'm trying to, find myself, find what I want to represent in my paintings. And I've noticed a lot of people that have been painting for longer than I have, they have a really good idea of what they're putting out there, kind of making more cohesive pieces that fit like a series. That's definitely something that I'm working on. I actually have a series that it's almost complete. I've been working on it for about a year now. It's 6 paintings total, all on the TV show Breaking Bad. Just a huge fan of that, and I don't normally like to paint things from movies or TV shows. It's kind of generic, but that show, for whatever reason, really spoke to me, and I feel like I needed to honor the show like my own way. I've been inspired by a ton of artists. I'm always looking for new inspiration and seeing what's out there. Obviously, Mike DeVries was a huge inspiration when I was first getting into tattooing and painting. Another guy would be Chet Zar. He's just a really nice guy. Every time I've got the chance to meet him, and I've been lucky enough to buy a few of his paintings, and he had just so much depth in it. It's just like, wow, I need to change what I'm doing and just get some of that into my artwork something where it looks like you could just walk into it and just keep going. I also follow Christian Rex Van Minion. His work is super inspiring. Peter Grick. And Naoto Hattori. And I actually own one of his originals as well. Albert Bierstadt is one of them. These guys are just amazing, and like, it's really old stuff, but yeah, their artwork is timeless. Just totally stands out to date. The first painting I ever did was with oil paints. I've just always really liked the way they looked, even though I'd never painted before. They just seem a lot richer color-wise than the acrylic stuff. And I've tried acrylics, and they dry so fast. I mean, I know a lot of people use medium with them, but I've tried that too, and always go back to oils. I've tried scratch boards too, that's really fun, and watercolors as well. There's something about every time I oil paint, it just reminds me I don't necessarily need to try every medium out there. I'll just stick with what I like. When I was first introduced to Treacle, I just noticed that they put a lot of effort into supporting their artists, and the quality of their brushes and paints is awesome. You don't get any bristles stuck in the paint, anything like that. The people I've been in contact with seem to really care a little bit more. They're really in tune with the art world in general. Oil painting, to me, just super relaxing. When I'm tattooing, it's definitely a little bit more stressful. With oil paint, you can paint over mistakes, but tattooing, you really just have to not mess up. I'm always going to enjoy oil painting more than tattooing, I think, but if someone took tattooing away from me, I would definitely miss it. I'll never stop tattooing, but for now, I definitely enjoy oil painting more. It's not easy to find time to paint. It's really, it's a labor of love. I mean, I'm completely wiped out by the time I get home, but I just enjoy it so much. No matter how tired I am, I try to paint every night. And it's not easy, but I feel like if you enjoy something that much, you just have to make time for it. I try to paint at night because everyone's asleep. I know a lot of artists, I feel like, paint in the evening. You're just uninterrupted, and it's your happy place, your alone time. As far as techniques go, I feel like oil painting has helped me just become better at tattooing, especially because most people ask for me for realism, and a lot of transparent layers go into oil painting, and you can kind of bring that into tattooing. It just goes hand in hand. The best advice I could give someone is check out museums. I mean, that's where you're gonna see the best artwork there is. Yeah, anytime I get a chance to check out a new museum, I mean, I do my best to follow through with it. You're always going to find maybe artists that you haven't heard of, or you know, something that just really blows you away, and just study them. You know, if I find someone that I like, I'll go online and Google them, hopefully see every painting that they've done, and you know, pick out my favorites and just look at them for hours. I mean, that's the best thing I can say if, you know, if you're starting off. And then you get comfortable enough to where you don't have to necessarily like look at someone else's work. You can just kind of go for it. I'm always still looking at everyone's stuff. I mean, you should always constantly be looking for inspiration. Once you stop doing that, you know, you're just not going to grow. Sorry, totally lost my track. Just, yeah, could you repeat that? Good, it's good. It's good. Every outtake's just gonna be me talking to my girlfriend, asking her ideas.